All right, greetings everyone. We're so honored to have you all on today's webinar surrounding Cornell's Engineering Management Program. My name is Andrea Polito and I'm the Executive Director of Cornell's Engineering Management Program. I'm also a lecturer here and I have a joint appointment at the College of Engineering and the S.C. Johnson College of Business. And I'm so excited to tell you more about Cornell's program. So how this is going to work is first I'm going to give you some background on the program, tell you a little bit more about what we're all about, our program offering, how to apply, scholarships, all sorts of fun activities like that, and also the admissions process. Now, if you have any questions, what we're going to do is have a Q&A period at the end. So don't hesitate though along the way to put your questions in the chat, and then we'll get to them at the end, because that's a really important part of this, is because I know you have a lot of burning questions out there and want to give you the opportunity to voice those and get some answers. So with that, we'll get started. Now, if at any point you can't hear me for some reason, don't be afraid to type it in the chat as well. We'll try to make this as interactive as possible. All right, so let's get started. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on Cornell's program. So we are based in lovely Ithaca, New York. And if you haven't heard of Cornell before, it's an Ivy League institution that has been around since 1865. And it was founded by Ezra Cornell, who is an entrepreneur himself. Specifically, he founded Westinghouse. And he came up with this vision for this university of, I would found an institution where any person can find instruction in any study. And that really embodies not only Cornell today, but also the engineering management program, because it's really important for our students to get exposed to all that Cornell has to offer and get you access to classes across the engineering college, classes at the Johnson School, classes at all of our 7 colleges and universities based in Ithaca. And it's really important that you get that exposure, and we want you to have that well-rounded experience. So Cornell is located in upstate New York. And if you look at the bottom left of the screen, what's really cool about our program is that we are based in the engineering quad, but we're right across the street from the Johnson College of Business. So that really embodies the Cornell Engineering Management Program, is that it's based in engineering, but you have great access to the Johnson School, and you have that great exposure to business and all the other offerings here at Cornell. Now, just a little background on Ithaca, New York. So Ithaca, New York is based in upstate New York, and it's an incredibly beautiful place to live. I've included some of the rankings or surveys that have gone out about Ithaca, New York. Recently, it was voted the #1 college town in the United States. It has the highest per capita of restaurants in the United States as well, because there's just an incredible number of restaurants here due to our hotel school, which is ranked #1 in the world. And so it's a great place to live as a grad student and get exposed to not only what the university offers, but what the local community offers. We're based in the 2nd largest wine region in the United States as well. And there is just a vast number of waterfalls and gorges and hiking trails. So it's a truly beautiful place to live. And I encourage you to check out our website to see some of the other statistics on Ithaca, New York as well. Also, Cornell has a big campus in New York City and Manhattan. Specifically, our med school is based down there, and Cornell Tech is based down there. And so 4 times a day, there's a direct bus that goes to Manhattan as well. So for those that do want to get access to the city, it's really easy. There's a bus that has free Wi-Fi, free snacks and drinks that takes you immediately to New York City, and you're there in 4 hours. So it's pretty close to get to one of the largest cities in the world as well. So wanted to give some background on why engineering management as a discipline. And one of the reasons is that the pace of technological change is moving so quickly right now. And with artificial intelligence and virtual reality, and just how fast we're evolving and how quickly technology is getting adopted, we need strong engineering leaders. Technology is truly touching our lives at almost every moment of every day. This picture is a little bit of a joke, but I have a baby and she does just this. She picks up the mobile phone and she can work it and activate it. And so technology is really touching all aspects of our lives, whether we realize it or not. And more than ever, we need these strong engineering leaders to tackle some of the most hard, gnarly, complex challenges that are facing society today, whether that's cybersecurity or infrastructure challenges or artificial intelligence and electric vehicles, or the fact that our population in the world is aging at an alarming rate and there's more complex needs for healthcare. There's so many socio-technical complex challenges that need to be tackled. And this is what makes the case for why we need strong engineering leaders and managers. And that's what Cornell's program can provide. It's based in engineering, so it gives you that strong technical depth, but it builds on that technical depth that you have on as an engineer and gives you that icing of managerial experience and exposure. And so our program is based in the College of Engineering, but about 50% of the classes our students take are actually at the S.C. Johnson College of Business. And we work really closely with our students to design a program that builds on their engineering background and gives them that managerial, finance, marketing exposure. And so the program is really geared for folks that want to be leaders in engineering, not leave engineering, and those that really want to grow in their careers as engineers, but also be in the room for those managerial decisions. And so what we've done is we've talked to a number of our alumni, a number of people in industry, and we have formulated our degree to tackle 3 core areas. First is to give you the skills to lead people, whether that's leading teams, leading projects, how to negotiate, and how to tackle things with strong systems thinking and communication and presentation skills. The second core area of our degree is arming you with techniques and tools to really advance your business, whether that's data analytics or decision framing in analytics. We recently had an alumni panel where we asked, if you had to boil it down, what's the single best thing you got from your engineering management degree? And overwhelmingly, they said the ability to take swarms of data, develop insights, and then make strategic decisions. That sets us apart from our peers and really allowed us to excel farther, faster in our careers. The third major area of our degree is the ability to disrupt our field. So once you have these core skills and these core data analytics, core managerial, core presentation and communication skills, we then arm you with materials, tools, techniques to really help advance your business, but take it to the next level to disrupt your field. So we have a course in managing a culture of innovation and entrepreneurial thinking, design thinking, and entrepreneurship. So as an example, my appointment at the Johnson School is I'm a member of the entrepreneurship faculty. So it's really important that our students get exposure to design thinking, entrepreneurship, and lean startup principles. Whether you go into a large company or whether you start a company, those skills on disruptive innovation translate across both of those fields. So Cornell's program, we're actually celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, and we're one of the oldest, most reputable programs in engineering management in the country. And as you can see, our cohort size varies anywhere from 20 to 40, but our sweet spot is having a cohort of about 35, because that allows us to really get to know our students, work one-on-one with them, and develop a personalized experience. So we've been around for a while, and we have a strong alumni base that helps support our program, whether that be hiring our students or working with us to design our classes and coursework. So now I'm going to spend a little bit of time going through what I believe differentiates Cornell's Engineering Management Master of Engineering program. So the first is the access to world-class engineering and business programs. So we're an Ivy League university, and we have excellent world-class engineering programs and fantastic programs at our business school that are both highly ranked. And so the ability to have 2 very strong programs makes the engineering management degree that much stronger. And so as I said earlier, about 50% of your classes are in engineering, and then 50% of your classes are at the SC Johnson College of Business. And our students love having that exposure to both. The second thing I'll mention about their program is that 94% of our students are starting their career within 3 months of graduation. So we have a 94% job placement rate within 3 months. And if you look at our peers, that's very strong. And so it's really important. We know the reason you're coming for this degree is to get a job, and get a job that puts you on a path aligned with your career goals. So it's really important to us that you find a career that's your #1 choice and aligned with your interests. And so we work very hard to develop a personalized program to align you and get that job offer. The third thing I wanted to mention is flexibility. So what's really unique about Cornell's program is that while we have some core classes, you get to design a curriculum that's aligned with your career goals. As an example of this, we used to only have 2 specialization electives, but now what we did is we worked with our alumni and we designed a program to increase the number of specialization electives. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but it's really important to us that you design a program that works for you. So as an example, as a student in Cornell's program, you get aligned with a faculty advisor, and then you work closely with that faculty advisor to design a program that's aligned with your career goals. Fourth is we have significant partnerships with industry. The main example of this is through our coursework. In particular, with something that also sets Cornell apart is that we have a project requirement with industry as part of our curriculum. And so baked into curriculum, you work together with an industry partner and solve a challenge that they're facing. This is something that helps build your resume. You can also use this project as a sandbox to try on new skills for science that you learn throughout your degree. So maybe that's trying a new data analytics tool. Maybe it's trying on leading a team. But as an example, in this last semester, we partnered with IBM, Boeing, and Pepsi on a variety of projects. Also, in our coursework, we align you with industry. So as an example, in your economics and finance class, we align you with a business or a startup, and you help them with their financial projections and also doing financial analyses. So that's another way that you get to build your experience and work with another industry partner. And that's a theme in many of our courses, that we align you on very practical projects that you can use to build your skills and also build your resume. The next thing I want to mention is that Cornell has a vast alumni network. We're a very passionate bunch. I'm a Cornell alum myself. So as an example, we have 230,000 plus living Cornell alum, and they are very passionate about hiring other Cornellians. So once you join Cornell's M.Eng program, you're part of the Cornell family. And then the last thing I'll mention is that this program really sets you apart to amplify your problem-solving skills and decision-making skills. And this is something that our alumni tell us time and time again, that with your Cornell degree, you will excel farther, faster because of our rigor here, but also because of the way we train you to get practical experience so that you have an ability to tackle problems that sets you apart from your peers in the workplace. All right, so one of the most common questions I get asked is, what are the career paths that our students follow after graduation? So these are the 5 most common career paths, but I will say that we've seen many beyond this, but I just wanted to highlight these 5. So one of the main career paths that our students pursue is consulting and finance. So just yesterday, I was talking with 2 of our current students that came running into my office saying, Andrea, I just got a job offer from Accenture and I just got a job offer from Deloitte, and that's just yesterday. Can you help me work on my negotiation? So consulting and finance is a very common career path for our students. We see many of our students pursue consulting for a few years and then they transition to another role, but that's just one path. Second career path is some type of data analyst or business analyst. Maybe this is in an operations capacity. Maybe this is also at an engineering firm and you're working on data analytics. One trend we're seeing in industry is that many of our students are going into careers maybe not as data analysts, but this is a core competency that many employers expect. And so we have a pretty heavy course mode that you can focus on that or specialize in that. Third is some type of engineering leadership role or an engineering leadership development and rotational program. So we see many of our students set on a pathway out of the program into engineering leadership. Also, some of our students decide to pursue rotational programs. And if you haven't heard of one of these programs, how it works is usually you get paired in a 6-month to a year rotation, and it takes place over 2 to 3 years. And this is great because it gives you exposure to a number of different areas or competencies at a firm. And then after those years, you then get to decide what role you'd like to pursue as a career path. And so this is a very popular pathway for our students after the MEM degree. And it gets you great exposure, and it's a big leadership development program for many firms. Fourth is we see many of our students more and more going into product management roles. So as an example, we offer a product management class, and many of our students are going into tech firms such as Microsoft, Intel, Wayfair, Amazon, Google. We just spent 2 weeks ago at Google, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a couple minutes. But many of our students decide to pursue a career as a product manager in tech. Also, some of our students decide to pursue careers in entrepreneurship as well. And the last but not least, we see many of our students also decide to pursue real estate and construction management careers, whether that's at firms like Skanska, Clark Construction as well. Okay, so I want to give you an idea of who attends the program. So the average age of our students is anywhere from 24 to 25 to 26. Although this year we have a number of students that are in their 30s. So it just depends on the year. And more often we're seeing students pursue this degree that have experience. About 33% of our students are female, and many of our students come from broad engineering backgrounds. So whether that be mechanical, computer science, electrical, industrial, operations research, civil and environmental, biomedical, chemical. So our students come from a number of engineering backgrounds. I believe the highest percentage of our students right now are mechanical, but it really is all across the board and is in fact pretty split evenly across all of those engineering disciplines. Our students love to interact with other students across campus. At the Johnson School, they love to get involved with clubs, whether that be Society of Women Engineers or the Consulting Club. We also have an internal career services club, which helps plan events for engineering management students. Just this year, we've had our students win a couple different hackathons, so our students are pretty impressive in that realm as well, and they really like to get involved across campus. And we highly encourage that because we know that getting involved across campus is another great opportunity to try on your leadership skills for size. Another key aspect of Cornell's program is that you're part of a cohort, and that's really, really important to us. Our students love to be part of a cohort. I actually had to give our students a talking to yesterday because in one of their classes, they weren't interacting with the other students. And I had to say, I know you guys are a cohort and you love each other, but make sure you're networking in your class with non-MEM students as well, so you get exposed to those type of students as well. So it's really important. And we look for people that want to be part of the Cornell family, be part of a cohort, because that's a central part of our degree. Our students love working with each other. They get along, and sometimes there's brother, sister, sibling relationships that come out of it. Another core aspect of our degree is that we love students that want to contribute to the Cornell community, whether that's attending sports events. Hockey and football and lacrosse happen to be our big sports here, or it's getting involved with the cultural activities here. We really want people that want to be part of a cohort with the engineering management students, and also those that will be part of the Cornell family as well. Okay, another item I wanted to mention is that we're a very proud member of the Master of Engineering Management Program Consortium. So this is a consortium of our peer institutions in engineering management. And essentially we've all banded together to raise the profile of engineering management. And this is a really interesting and cool aspect of engineering management as a discipline, is that we work really closely with our peer institutions to develop programs, and also raise the profile of engineering management. And this is a consortium of the top engineering management programs in the country, and we all work together. In fact, in 2 days, I'm traveling to Chicago, and we meet twice a year to talk about how we can all work together. So I wanted to mention that as well. Okay, so many of you have questions, I'm sure, on how our program is structured academically. So how it works is we have a very coursework and project-oriented focused program. And the majority of our students pursue the program in 2 semesters, but we also have a chunk of students that also like to stay a 3rd semester. And the reason for that is we align them with an internship, and they get more exposure and work experience with that internship, or they want to take more electives. So many of our students decide to pursue it in 2, but you also have the option of pursuing the 3rd semester. So how it works is most of our students start in the fall, although we do accept some spring starts as well. There's a winter break, and over winter break is when some students like to pursue an externship, so get a month-long experience. And then you come back in that spring semester. And if you decide only to do 2 semesters, then you graduate and go into the workforce, or you can stay an extra semester and get a summer internship as well. And we work together with you to find that internship. So what this means is you have to complete at least 30 credit hours, and then there's 2 pass-fail 1 credit seminar courses. And I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a couple minutes. So this is what our core curriculum looks like. So we have a required set of core courses that we've developed in collaboration with industry stakeholders. So core skill sets in project management and methods in data analytics. Also, a really unique aspect of Cornell's program that I mentioned earlier is that you get a project with an industry sponsor. And so that's in your spring semester or your 2nd semester. It's a great chance for you to try new skills for size. Also, you take a course as part of our core in decision analytics. And then we have 2 1-credit pass-fail seminars. One is a project management seminar where we bring in alumni and industry stakeholders every week to talk to you about different project and product management career paths. And then a second offering is something we call the Professional and Leadership Development Series. This is during your 1st semester. And one piece of feedback we got from our students in past years is they wanted more leadership development core skill sets. So we offer a series of leadership development courses through this seminar. And we also offer what we call the Professional Development Series through this seminar series as well. And this is when we go through and do a lot of workshopping on mock interviews, case interviews, how to negotiate, how to develop a personal brand. And we really try to amplify your skills on the career development front. Also, you take 1 course in finance and accounting, and then you also get to choose a course in org behavior, whether that's taking a straight org behavior course, a marketing course, an entrepreneurship course, managing a culture of innovation course, or managerial decision making. So we give you a number of courses that you can choose from. These are just some of the most popular courses, but we give you a lot of flexibility to pick a course that's interesting to you. And now another very interesting part of our degree is that you get at least 3 specialization electives. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how that works. So with your specialization electives, we have different specialization elective tracks. And these tracks are aligned with typical career paths that we see our students pursuing after graduation. And now before I go any further, I want to highlight that along with these specialization tracks that you can choose from and pick courses from that, most of our students decide to pursue a build your own track so that they build a program that works for them. So let me give you an example of that. One of our students, Andy Kong, he really wants to pursue a career in product management. So he's picked a couple of our courses from our project management track, but he's also pursuing a number of courses in computer science because he wants to really build his skills in that area. And he's really interested in cryptocurrencies. So he's taking a course in cryptocurrencies. So we really work with you to design a tailored curriculum that works for you. So along with the build your own track offering, where you can take classes from across Cornell, not just in engineering, but at Johnson School, in our industrial and labor relations school, our hotel school. Some of our students, as an extra outside of their specialization electives, decide to take our wine and beers courses. Also, you can take courses in design, the architecture school. We see a number of students pursue a variety of different course offerings from across Cornell. Along with the Build Your Own track, you can pursue a specialization track in consulting or analytics, entrepreneurship and product management, engineering leadership, real estate and construction management, and sustainability and renewable energy. So you're welcome to mix and match, build your own. We really give you a lot of flexibility. Okay, so I already mentioned this a little bit, but one very interesting part of our degree is that you have this culminating team project course, ENMGT 5910. You can think of this as a capstone for your M.Eng experience here at Cornell. You'll work with a team on a pretty intense project in collaboration with an industry sponsor. Some of the topics that those projects pursue are technology road mapping or selection, cost and life cycle analysis, technology forecasting, sales and marketing strategy, operations strategy, manufacturing strategy, information system strategy. Every year they change based on what our students are interested in. And at the end of the year, there's a demo and you present this back out to your industry sponsor. And it's a big celebration. And we invite folks from across campus and the industry sponsors fly into town. So it's a really fun opportunity for our students and a real celebration and culmination. All right, so where do our students go after graduation? And the answer is all over the world. Many of our students decide to stay in the US and go to a variety of cities across the country. And then others of our students decide to pursue careers across the world. So as an example, one of our students last year that graduated, Michael, he's from South Africa. And he right now is pursuing a career in Germany because he really has wanted to live in Germany his whole life. And that being said, we have a number of our students, a big majority of our students that come from across the world and they decide to stay in the US. So I'd say the majority of our students decide to pursue careers in the US after graduation. But this just gives you a sampling of where some of our students have decided to go after graduation. Okay, so we know one of the top questions that you all have is career placement. And as I mentioned earlier, 94% of our students that graduated last year were placed, and most actually had started within 3 months of graduation. So that's extraordinarily high. And that's really, really important to us that you get a career that's aligned with your career goals and you get it within your close proximity of your graduation. So we work very hard to make that happen. There's a number of different job titles that our students pursue, and I've already highlighted some are product management, consultant, technical lead, starting your own company, product engineer, or program manager. And then here's just a sampling of some of the companies that have hired our students in the past couple of years. Everything from Goldman to Intel to Amazon to Dropbox to McKinsey to Deloitte and Accenture. But we've seen a number of different companies all across the world. One of our students decided to pursue an internship at Tesla this past summer. And so we see a large range of options that our students pursue after graduation. All right, well, I've given you a sneak peek of this, but I did want to mention our professional and leadership development series. Now, one of the pieces of feedback that we got from our students is that along with doing courseworks and clubs and being part of a cohort, is that they didn't have dedicated time to work on networking and meeting with alumni. And so we wanted to provide a carved out experience for our students to really build their professional and leadership development skills. So this starts actually before you come on Cornell's campus. So in July, we start working with you individually on your resume, your cover letter, doing mock interviews, and coming up with my favorite part of a job hunting or search plan. And this hunting plan is designed around your career goals. And then we as faculty and we as your program support work together with you to craft that career plan. Then once you arrive in August, we have a number of days of workshop activities, cohort building activities for you all to get to know each other, and leadership development activities. And then you also start working with your faculty advisor team, and also start really working with your classmates on your career plan. Then in September, we have a career fair where over 240 companies come to Cornell's campus, and we start working on informational interviews, setting up conversations with alumni, a lot of mock interview prep, and also we start doing company visits and a number of information sessions with companies. They start happening on Cornell's campus. In October, we do a trek to New York City where we visit alumni at companies, and we do visits, mock interviews with them as well. But most importantly, you get exposed to different companies, and you get to hear about their career path and shadow them. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the next couple of minutes. And then in November and December, we focus on your personal branding plan. So setting up blog posts and Medium posts and making sure your LinkedIn is up to snuff, and really working with you to think about your personal brand. And also we really focus on leadership development as well. We do a number of workshops with that. Okay, so I've already given you a sneak preview of this, but in October, we do an annual career truck visit to New York City. So we did this visit actually 2 weeks ago, and we worked with alumni to set these up. So this is a really cool part of our program, is that you work with alumni and they tell you about their career paths. So this year we did visits to Google, Facebook, Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, Lyft, and WSP. As an example, this bottom right picture is at Facebook, and we got to have experience the all-you-can-eat gelato bar. This upper left picture is at Google, where we got to experience their unlimited food offerings and just work with our alumni in those institutions to hear about what they do, shadow them, learn about their projects, and also pick their brains about, you know, what skill sets should students learn while they're M.Eng students. Okay, another thing that we also do is alumni events. So this is a picture from our 30th anniversary celebration where we did an alumni panel. And so we had alumni from all across the world come back, and we actually held this event also in New York City. And we wanted to expose them to our students, but also want to bring back our alum to talk about what they're up to, and also network with each other so that once you're part of the Cornell family, it's a lifelong connection. And also we wanted to bring back the alumni to speak with students to learn about what skill sets and competencies should they really be focusing on, and also teach them about different career options that they have. So this is just an example of some of the alumni events you'll get exposed to as a Cornell student. All right, so another core aspect of our degree, if it's of interest to you, is entrepreneurship. So in Ithaca, we have a number of different opportunities through the entrepreneurship program here. So Cornell has a strong track record of training entrepreneurs. So the current CEO of Lyft is a Cornell alum. The current CEO and co-founders of Wayfair are Cornell alum. And then you can extend this to a number of different other firms as well. So to help prepare students for a path in entrepreneurship, if that's what they're interested in, my background is myself as an entrepreneur, and I believe there's no better time to start a company than when you're a student. So we have a number of accelerators and incubators across campus. One of those is eLab, where you get both course credit and a little bit of funding to start your company as a student. Also on campus, we have 2 entrepreneurship hub spaces that act as incubator spaces called eHub. One's in College Town, which is right next to the M.Eng program building. Another one is closer to Central Campus. We also have a program called Blackstone Launchpad, which is a mentorship program so that if you're interested in starting a company, it introduces you to a lot of entrepreneurial mentors or investors. Also, there's the Big Red Venture Fund, which is essentially a business plan lean startup competition where you get to pitch for funding. And then twice a year, we have 2 giant entrepreneurship celebrations and conferences. The one in the fall is called Summit, and that takes place in New York City, and alumni come back from all across the country to share their experiences as entrepreneurs or network with students and alumni. And then the second one is called Entrepreneurship Celebration, and that's in Ithaca in April. So there's a number of different funding programs and a number of different coursework as well. And if you want to learn more about the different entrepreneurship programs and courses, I encourage you to check out the entrepreneurship website at Cornell. Another unique offering here at the M.Eng program is that we partner with the Johnson College of Business to offer what's called Immersion programs. So I mentioned earlier that you get specialization electives, and you get at least 3 electives that you can work with. And so what some of our students decide to do is during their second semester, they do an immersion at the Johnson College of Business. And there's about 7 or 8 immersion offerings. I just have 2 highlighted here. One of them is called a semester in strategic operations for those that are interested in operations, supply chain, manufacturing. Another one is corporate finance for those that are more interested in finance. There's also a digital tech immersion as well that some of our students are interested in too. And how this works is you use your specialization electives and you do an immersion at the business school. And you do a project course with them, you do company visits, you do alumni, speaker series, and essentially you are part of the MBA community for your second semester. So this is an offering that many of our students decide to pursue that want more business experience and background. Okay, so tuition and scholarships. So how Cornell's program works is that you pay per semester. So this gives you that flexibility that you do want to stay that 3rd semester. Another thing I want to highlight is that 30% of our students get some type of scholarship or teaching assistantship or another type of assistantship. Many of our students, as an example, are the TAs for entrepreneurship. Many of our students are creators for a variety of courses. And then we also offer a number of merit-based fellowships and scholarships. So related to the scholarships, because I know folks have questions about this, is that we grade the scholarships based on your application. So you don't need to write an extra essay. The only exception to that is something called the Knight Scholarship. Now, this is a $20,000 scholarship to your M.Eng and a $20,000 scholarship to an MBA. Although you don't need to pursue an MBA, you can just use it for your M.Eng. And that requires one other essay, and it's about a 1 to 2 page essay. But that's the only scholarship that's a core part of our scholarship offerings that you need to write an extra essay. A lot of the other ones we just do in review as part of your existing application. And if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out and also check out our website. But 30% of our students get some type of scholarship or assistantship. Okay, and I just wanted to deep dive into the Knight Scholarship a little bit more. So the deadline for this is February 1st, and you just need to write an extra 500-word essay, submit a 1-page resume. And this is for folks that are interested in really pursuing a career in engineering and business, which many engineering management students are. So I want to highlight this one as a special scholarship offering that we have here at Cornell. And I just want to underline, you don't need to pursue an MBA to apply for this scholarship. You can just use it for your M.Eng. Okay, so admissions and application details. So the deadline to apply for fall 2019 is January 5th of 2019. And the application requirements include an online application, a statement of purpose, transcripts. We ask for 3 letters of recommendation, and those can be a mix of academic, professional, maybe it's your club advisor. We're really flexible on that. There's an application fee, but you can get that waived if you would like. GRE scores and TOEFL scores for applicants whose native language is not English. And we'll also interview a select group of students prior to admission to the program as well. So I encourage you to check out our website if you have any questions about that, or feel free to ask them to me as well. So just some general application tips. As I mentioned, the deadline is January 5th, but with your statement of purpose, be creative. We want to see you and learn more about you. Highlight your strengths as part of your statement of purpose, and also share your passion for Cornell and engineering management. We're really excited to hear what gets you excited about Cornell and engineering management as a discipline. And we're also excited to hear about what you want to do with your career. It's really important for us to learn about your career goals so that we can make sure and match you with different programs and services here. So even with your application stage, we start brainstorming and thinking about how can we design a tailored program for you at Cornell. Okay, another thing I wanted to mention, and I've already highlighted this a little bit, is that some of our students decide to stay for an MBA. And how this works is that you pursue your M.Eng for 1 year, and then after you stay for an MBA at the SC Johnson College of Business. And this gets you further embedded within the business world as well. And so you get an M.Eng MBA in 2 years, which is a pretty unique offering. So how it works is your first year is completely dedicated to M.Eng, and then the second year you start in the summer and you do your MBA. You do a lot of the core MBA classes over the summer, and in the fall you get to deepen your coursework with electives, and then also pursue an immersion if you'd like as well. We're so honored and excited to hear of your interest, and we look forward to seeing your application.